Hey Ravens fans, the buzz is real in the Ravens war room, and there's plenty to discuss after the NFL draft, with Baltimore eyeing a Super Bowl berth. John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta made some bold moves in the 2025 NFL draft, and while there's plenty of excitement surrounding the rookies, there's still a lot of work to be done. The Ravens are building something serious, but veteran reinforcements could be the key to unlocking this roster's full potential. We'll break it down now. But before we go any further, make sure you've clicked like if you've been a Baltimore Ravens fan for 20 plus years. It's always amazing to see loyalty across generations. If that's you, leave a comment saying, "Go Ravens!" Now, let's get to the point. The Ravens made a splash with their draft picks. Starting strong with versatile defensive back Malachi Starks, Baltimore showed their commitment to bolstering the secondary. Pairing him with Kyle Hamilton, that's a dream combination. Then they went with Mike Green and Emory Jones, who, yes, may have been a bit of a third-round pick, but the athletic potential is undeniable. Next came Teddy Buchanan, Carson Vincent, Ball Cone, and kicker Tyler Loop. A spicy move that signals the team isn't afraid to shake up the special teams. Colorado's Leonte Wester comes in at wide receiver, and rounding out the draft are Aeneas Peebles, Robert Longerbeam, and Garrett Dinger. Overall, it was a draft with depth, potential, and some calculated gambles. But the job isn't finished. The roster still has gaps, especially when it comes to veteran presence. Let's talk about the linebacker room. Enter C.J. Mosley. The former Ravens standout is a free agent and makes a compelling case for a reunion. Why? He's already played with Ravens linebackers coach Zach Orr. That familiarity could be crucial in a system as complex and physical as Baltimore's. Yes, he only played 4 games in 2024 due to a neck injury, but the price tag should reflect that, making him a potentially high upside signing with minimal financial risk. Add to that the fact that the Ravens did draft Teddy Buchanan, who has shown promise, especially in coverage and blitz packages, but still needs to improve his instincts in the run game. There's also some undrafted depth with Jay Higgins and Chandler Martin, both tackling machines in college. Martin, in particular, is a spark plug, fast, aggressive, and with a real nose for the ball. But even with that youthful energy, bringing in someone like C.J. Mosley would give the room a battle-tested leader who knows what it takes to wear the Ravens' crest. Let's pivot to the wide receiver core. The room has talent. DeAndre Hopkins brings the experience, Zay Flowers is electric, and Rashad Bateman is hoping this will be the season he finally breaks through. But once you get past that trio, the depth drops. That's why Keenan Allen is still very much on the radar. Last season, playing under rough conditions with the Bears, rookie quarterback, brutal O-line, weak scheme, he still managed 744 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's got enough in the tank, and more importantly, he brings reliability and veteran savvy. He can be Lamar Jackson's safety net when things break down. With the young WRs developing, Allen could be the bridge between the present and future of this receiver unit. Defensively, another reunion might be brewing, this time with Zadarius Smith. The veteran edge rusher played all 17 games last year, split between Cleveland and Detroit, and racked up 9 sacks and 60 quarterback pressures. That's not washed up. That's still dangerous. And when you look at Baltimore's current edge group, it's a mix of promise and uncertainty. Kyle Van Noy, Ode Foa, and rookie Mike Green form a solid core, but behind them, it's murky. Tavius Robinson has flashed. Adissa Isaac's rookie year was limited by injury. David Ohabo hasn't lived up to expectations, and Malakam hasn't made a major splash. Smith brings heat, leadership, and proven production. In crunch time, would you rather gamble on an improving name or bring in a season closer? The answer is obvious. And finally, let's talk about the trenches. Brandon Scherff could be a game-changing addition at guard. At 33, he's not the long-term answer, but he's still reliable. Over 1,000 snaps last season, just 2 penalties, and a pass-blocking grade north of 74 according to PFF. The Ravens did draft Emory Jones and Garrett Dinger, both with high upside, but untested in NFL conditions. The team also has guys like Daniel Falale and Andrew Voorhees in the mix, but the offensive line is one of those areas where one injury can derail everything. Having Scherff as a stabilizing force could be the difference between dominance and disaster. To sum it up, Baltimore's draft was strong, very strong, but adding the right veterans could elevate this team from playoff contender to Super Bowl favorite. C.J. Mosley, Keenan Allen, Zadarius Smith, Brandon Scherff, each brings something the Ravens could use: leadership, experience, and a hunger to win. Now, I want to hear from you. Out of these 4 potential signings, who would you bring into the flock? Do the Ravens need another veteran linebacker? Is Keenan Allen worth it for a depth and leadership boost? Does Zadarius still have enough juice to chase down Mahomes or Allen in January? Or is Scherff the bodyguard Lamar needs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The energy inside the Ravens facility is electric, and with the draft behind us, all eyes are on how this roster will shape up heading into training camp. The foundation is strong, but there are still position battles and veteran additions that could be the missing piece for a Super Bowl run. Let's dive right into the heart of the action. The linebacker room is loaded with young talent, but it's far from settled. Teddy Buchanan, a fourth-round pick, is intriguing with his coverage skills and blitzing ability. Still, the instincts and run support need development. Then you've got undrafted guys like Chandler Martin, fast, aggressive, with a real nose for the ball, and Jay Higgins, who posted over 260 tackles in his last 2 seasons. These aren't just camp bodies, they're legit contenders. Now, imagine adding C.J. Mosley to that mix. A proven leader who knows the Ravens culture and who played alongside current LB coach Zach Orr. His presence could transform this group from promising to elite overnight. Now let's talk edge rushers. Kyle Van Noy, Ode Foa, and rookie Mike Green lead the pack, but after them? Question marks. Tavius Robinson has shown flashes. Adisa Isaac missed time. David Ohabo, once full of hope, now faces questions about his future. And Malacam still has everything to prove. A reunion with Zadarius Smith, who posted 9 sacks and 60 QB pressures last season, would bring veteran heat and playoff experience. This defense needs a closer. Smith can be that guy. Switching to offense, the wide receiver room has top-end talent. Zay Flowers is a star on the rise. DeAndre Hopkins is steady. Rashad Bateman hopes to finally break out. But depth is thin. Keenan Allen may be aging, but 744 yards and 7 touchdowns last year say he's got plenty left. In an offense needing reliability, Allen would be a massive insurance policy and a safety net for Lamar Jackson when it counts. And in the trenches, drafting Emory Jones and Garrett Dinger was smart, but they're untested. Injuries on the O-line can destroy a season, and Brandon Scherff could be the veteran anchor this group needs. Over 1,000 snaps and just 2 penalties last year? That's consistency you can count on. He may not be the future, but he could be the key to protecting the Ravens now. So Ravens flock, who should we add? C.J. Mosley for leadership? Zadarius for pressure? Keenan for security? Or Scherff to fortify the front? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell us who's the missing piece for a Super Bowl run. Go Ravens!